Repeated.
Okay.
Okay, you continue.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so my screen is visible, right, to everybody?
Yes, sir, sir.
Okay, fine. So I hope I'm audible also. No issues over there. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay, fine. So yeah, welcome everybody, and good evening. So basically I will be giving you a very short demo uh, regarding the Salesforce Tableau CRM, which will be, I will be training forward if you kind of join this course. So I will be giving you a very brief introduction about this, what exactly it means, and what are the steps which can be done. Yeah, without much further ado, let us walk through this topic, Salesforce Tableau CRM. So basically, the Salesforce Tableau CRM, it was earlier known as Einstein Analytics. So quite recently, like, it just got changed to Salesforce Tableau CRM because of the acquirement of that Tableau. So it has been operating close to, I guess, 4 years, this Einstein Analytics. So yeah, that's what it is all about. So it's a very powerful tool. It's a powerful BI and AI tool which is provided by Salesforce, and definitely a lot of transformation, and a lot of stuffs can be done. So quite an interesting course, Salesforce Einstein Analytics. Throughout the time whenever I worked with this, I had an immense pleasure. So yeah, let us walk through this, what it's all about, the Salesforce Tableau CRM. Okay, I will be giving you a brief introduction about this. So yeah, particularly, like, whoever have joined, can we just have a brief introduction about you all, just to ensure I am aware, like, who all have joined this particular session. Just a brief introduction and we will walk through, just to ensure I am aware of everybody. So anybody who wants to start?
Myself, Srinivas. Recently, I
Yeah,
was
hi
started
Srinivas.
recently I was started working on Einstein Analytics, WCRM. This
Okay.
past 1 month I was working on that one. Presently I was working on data flows and recipes only. But I want to
Hmm.
explore more in the WCRM. That's why I was there.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Yeah, next.
Yeah, myself Balamurugan. I have
Yeah, hi Balamurga.
yeah, yeah, I have 2.7 years of experience in manual testing. So I want
Hmm.
to learn new technology. So I have enrolled in this session.
Okay, okay, great. I think there is another person, I guess, Kumar. Somebody joined as Kumar, I guess.
Yes, yes, myself Kumar. Actually, I want for this domain. I am sorry, this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not able to hear you, Kumar.
Yeah, now it's audible.
Yeah, yeah, you're audible now.
Yeah, yes. I want to know about this domain. Actually, I'm just looking forward for this Salesforce.
Okay, okay.
So I am.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, thanks to three of you for the lovely introduction. Yeah, without much further ado, let us walk through, okay, this part. So throughout this course, if there's anything which you want me to clarify, you can instantly ask me the questions, okay? So whenever I will be walking you through the slides, if there is any clarification you require, again, this is a demo class, not much is there. I will be giving you a brief introduction about the Salesforce Tableau CRM in case you are not aware of it. So yeah, let us start. So basically, this Salesforce journey in strategic acquisition. So basically, how it acquired. This is the whole history. This is the whole journey which is there. So right from 2013, they were trying to acquire this enterprise BI analytics startup. Okay, from 2014, that was so basically, this Salesforce Tableau CRM, which was earlier known as Einstein Analytics, from the very first instant when it was launched from this 2014, it was known as Wave Analytics. Salesforce Wave Analytics. That's the name we have been knowing through right from the very beginning when it was launched. Fine. Then of course it had further acquisition, and there were further rebranding. So it was known as Salesforce Einstein Analytics, from this 2017. And once when it acquired that Tableau, so basically it kind of just renamed that whole thing to Salesforce Tableau CRM, which we know is, not many people nowadays maybe knowing it, that it's known as Salesforce Tableau CRM. Many people still call it Salesforce Einstein Analytics. So yeah, that's why we just mention always the Salesforce Tableau CRM in bracket form or Einstein Analytics. Okay, so yeah, this is a very powerful tool, and this is how it was acquired. So basically, this renaming was done in the year 2020. From last year only this rename happened to this Tableau CRM. So what is this Salesforce Tableau CRM? What is this all about? So basically, it's a product of Salesforce and a cloud-based platform. Um, it's a rebranded analytics tool formerly known as Wave Analytics. So it's used for data exploration. I think one of the candidates over here, I think he is already working. So I think he will be quite aware of it, and he can point out if anything um, like is not mentioned properly over here. Fine. So yeah, I will just give a brief introduction just to ensure everybody is aware of this and we all are in the same page. So this is a native Salesforce secure and scalable to meet the changing business requirement. So basically, the Salesforce Tableau CRM, if we overall kind of just put it into words, it's an app basically where we can visualize all the activity which is occurring in our Salesforce environment. Okay. Now there's a question which you all might be asking, like, you all want to learn this Tableau CRM, but why you want to learn it? What's the whole purpose? What's the reason behind learning this? Fine. So see, the thing is that as the population is increasing, the quantity of data which is produced by industry has increased, and we have a variety of data flowing from various sources. So there's huge amount of data which is coming. We have so many accounts, so many opportunities, so many industries which are coming up, so many account owners are there. Okay, so many account types are there. So in a business so many things goes on, right? So there's a huge quantity of data which is there. So just for example, like if you take any kind of outlets or any brands, let's say even if you take KFC, it's spread all over the countries, isn't it? All over the globe it's spread. And you know how exactly it needs to operate, because it's they're all over the world. It becomes quite difficult, isn't it, to manage so many large amounts of data if it wants to generate further revenue, if it wants to generate further profit. So it becomes difficult to manage across the globe of this whole outlets which is there. So for this, organization require efficient tools to analyze data in system and keep them safe. With large data, one cannot risk making assumption but should use tools for decision making. So there are so many customers who might be coming in for a particular business to a particular organization, and they might be buying products, or they might be purchasing the services which are provided by them. So just to ensure those data are being kept aligned to those organization, it becomes quite difficult when that business expands at a quite alarming rate. So just to sustain themselves, or just to ensure they kind of get more profit than what they are earning, it becomes difficult to manage efficiently because of this huge amounts of data, because of this huge amount of customers who are there associated with them. It's becomes difficult to like keep a track of them, to ensure they are always associated to them and the business always remains intact. So this particular thing, basically where exactly what are the pain points of a particular business. So when a business like grows in huge chunks, when it becomes profitable, there's other factors which needs to be taken care. There are some minute details which needs to be taken care just to ensure it kind of extends its profitability. So for those kind of reasons, there are some particular pain points which are very difficult to analyze if we do it manually. So through Salesforce Tableau CRM, you can actually say that some particular pain points which are there, where exactly are that exact domains through which if analyzed properly, we can generate much more profit or revenue from there. That is something which Salesforce Tableau CRM gives an answer to about. Now, how does this Salesforce Tableau CRM work? It directly connects with any CRM data to generate dashboards and reports. So I think one of the person here is a bit into the Salesforce. So I think that person might have heard about the Salesforce reports and dashboard. So basically, in Salesforce reports and dashboard, of course, it does more or less the same kind of work. But the thing is that in Salesforce reports and dashboard, there's a lot of limitation which we'll be definitely walking through. The thing is that one of the main limitation is that it only, if there's a particular Salesforce org which you are having, you will be only able to see the reports and dashboard over there. But through Salesforce Tableau CRM, although it does more or less the same kind of work which reports and dashboard is doing, providing some additional features, it kind of, one of the huge advantages, it can connect with any sort of CRM data. So you have, let's say you have SQL, you have Power Analytics, you have any other tools, okay, let's say Oracle, okay. uh, so any kind of tool which you can name off, it can connect with any other server, and it can bring in the data from there quite easily through this Salesforce Tableau CRM. And if there is any further transformation which needs to be done through those external system, then this is something which can be easily done through point and click functionality to Salesforce Tableau CRM. In this whole Salesforce, of course, we can connect through some external data as well, through various coding logic. But through point and click application, if one needs to do it, this is an efficient tool to do that. Okay, you don't need to kind of go through any complex requirement to connect with any data. Okay, of course there are some security issues which should be handled for sure, but once it loads in the data, it becomes, if there's just a point and click tools mainly to do the further transformation and display the requisite results. So Salesforce knows that you don't have to limit yourselves to Salesforce to use Tableau CRM. You can connect other CRMs. That's what I said. Like, it's not about connecting data from only Salesforce org. You can connect data from any other orgs, okay, for that matter. That's how the powerful this tool is. Now, what are the benefits? It's improved and accurate reporting. As I told you, it's an advanced version of this reports and dashboard which we have, the conventional reports and dashboard which we have in Salesforce. It kind of provides much more features to it, this Salesforce Tableau CRM. It provides valuable business insight. As I was discussing about the pain points which an organization must be having, through, if which being looked upon, that can really deliver much more profits. That's what it is. The second point, competitive analysis, like where exactly it needs to focus on, where exactly it needs to put its time and effort worth it, so that it can generate the maximum revenue. Because like, that's how the business model works. It's more of 80-20%, 80% 20%, something which you might have heard of. There are 20% stuffs which needs to be focused upon, 20 major percent stuffs which needs to be focused upon. So to analyze that, when you have large chunks of data, that's where the Salesforce Tableau CRM comes into picture. Again, this is a bit theoretical. Okay, maybe most of the things may not be understandable to you, but once we go through the session, once you understand what exactly this Salesforce Tableau CRM does, this whole thing will become much more clear to you for sure. But yeah, these are some of the benefits: better data quality. Okay, identifying market trends. There's a powerful thing in Salesforce Tableau CRM. Okay, which is the Einstein discovery. Like, it can basically predict like where exactly are the areas where one needs to work upon. If the business is not generating profit, what exactly are the sectors which needs to be focused on, and what are the parameters and what are the factors which are associated with those particular factor, I mean, the particular parameters where you need to kind of develop, where the things needs to be worked upon. So that Einstein discovery is a powerful tool which this provides. And going down the line in the coming futures, that definitely has a huge role to play. It has some mathematical calculation which it kind of does, that Einstein discovery itself, and it will actually give you the what to say, the analysis trend, where exactly needs to be worked upon, compared to what manually we can actually figure out what are the what to say, what are the advantages, or what are the areas where one needs to work upon. Through this powerful tool, it can give you much more efficient result compared to a normal analysis. The important trends, identify performance problem which needs attention, can be viewed visually using dashboard. So there's a dashboard where you can visually view what are the areas you need to work upon and all. Awareness of customer habits and increase customer satisfaction. Okay, now let us compare this. So reports and dashboard is nothing but a conventional tool which we have in Salesforce, if you are not aware of it. So basically, reports and dashboard looks and behave like Tableau CRM, but provide very different functionality. It provides an instant snapshot of the metrics that matters to your business, including team performance, lead volume, and conversion rates. So basically, what this snapshot means, instant snapshot. So first of all, let's say today, if there's a management over there and they want to view exactly what are the problems, or which areas are having lower profitability, or where lower revenue are being generated, so lower net profit are there in some particular areas, okay, in some particular time frame. If wants to know instantly, this is a very powerful to Tableau CRM. It can give you an instant snapshot, instant result of whatever you want to know, okay, at any point of time. So if today I want to view, like, if I have a huge business and if I want to know where exactly it's not operating, which are the areas where it's not operating, or where are the net profit which is coming very low, I can easily get that instant snapshot through this Tableau CRM. Okay, so as I've mentioned over here, it's a data scientist. Fine, it extends beyond the report and dashboard to give all insights into your pipeline, end-to-end customer insights and historical analysis to help you plan your next best step. So it always analyzes. So as I was talking about the Einstein discovery, which gives you an important trend of what exactly are the areas where it needs to work on. Now how it does that, it kind of analyzes the historical trends. So basically it reflects back to the past history. Basically it reflects back to the close date, past close dates, and it analyzes like how that has those parameters have been functioning and what are the factors on which it depended upon. So based on that, it will give you a future analysis, that Einstein discovery, based upon the calculation which it does. So these are some of the limitations. Okay, these are just of the some of the points which are highlighted. So as I was saying, reports and dashboard is something like it just gives you whatever data is there in Salesforce. Okay, you can have an instant view reports as well as the dashboard. uh, on addition to that, in Salesforce Tableau, of course, whatever reports and dashboard are doing, we are able to do that. But again, one of the things is that it can connect to different systems data as well. And another thing is it can transform the data. So reports and dashboard is more of like, it gives you just a visual presentation. It just gives you a visual output of whatever is already done. It doesn't transform anything. Okay, but through Salesforce Tableau, you can do some transformation. I think one of the person had been working for 1.5 months in data flows and recipes, so that is a very powerful transformation tool. And he will be like able to know this. So that's a transformation which kind of Salesforce Tableau CRM does for you. But yeah, other than that, these are some of the basic difference which you have. There's certain limitation in Salesforce reports, like you can't use more than 5 formula fields. Some 100 source reports columns are there. Have more than 100 support, you can't use that. And then if you need more than 20 field filters, that you can't do in Salesforce reports and dashboard. And if you need 2000 rows for a custom object in a snapshot, that can't be done in reports. So these are some of the limitations which is being overcome by the Salesforce Tableau CRM. Some of the common FAQs. Okay, basically this is a very common question regarding everybody. Everybody has whenever they hear this Salesforce Tableau CRM. So how you will be able to access that? Okay, anyhow, during our sessions, I will be walking you through that. But yeah, just for now, I mean, we can walk through like how that can be done. So basically, this is one of the Salesforce org which I have. So basically, if you click on this app launcher, there's something called as Analytics Studio. Okay, so let me just close this. Okay, yeah, so basically there's something called as this Analytics Studio app which is there. So once you click over here, you will be redirected to the Salesforce Analytics Studio. Okay, this is the Analytics Studio which you have. Additionally, you can also like search for analytics. Okay, so basically if you want to view the analytics in Salesforce itself, so when I clicked over here, it redirected me to a separate tab. So this is a whole separate tab which you have. Usually I kind of prefer this, but yeah, there's another way as well. If you click on this analytics, so in the Salesforce itself, you will be able to view as a separate tab. So as you can see in the Salesforce itself, I have a separate tab called analytics, just like I have opportunities, accounts, and everything. And from here also I can operate this Salesforce Tableau CRM. But yeah, personally I prefer to go to this Analytics Studio and do the work around whatever is needed. How does Tableau CRM get the data? So basically, it can extract from Salesforce object, CSV, or external data. So like if I show you over here, so in this Analytics Studio, when you click on this icon, once you go to this Analytics Studio, there's something called as Data Manager. So if you click over there, you will have a tab over here called Connect. If you go over there, so this is some of the local data. So whatever these things are there, this SFDC local means it's coming from the Salesforce org. So this is the Salesforce org which I'm having. So whatever records I have, whatever objects I have, that is being pulled in from this SFDC local. Okay, and there's something I connected. So basically, as I was saying, that I can connect to some other Salesforce org. So in this org, I have connected through another Salesforce doc which was known as Canada Sales. I connected to that as well. Okay, and you can connect to many. So if you click on this connect to data, as you can see, you have this MuleSoft connections, live connections. There's a lot of connections which you can do. So if, for example, if you click on this add connections, as you can see, we have this AWS, Heroku, okay, Google BigQuery. So as I was walking through the slides as well, so through this you can connect to any external system, MySQL, SAP, NetSuite, okay, so anything, Google Analytics, okay, so you
Yeah,
can connect with any. Yeah.
ca- can we connect
Hmm.
through external objects also, which we have in a Salesforce?
When you say external object, I mean if there's another Salesforce org which you want to connect, right, over here.
Not really, not really. On the same org, let's say I have an external object which is defined in the same org, and I want to connect. So can it be done through the Tableau?
Yeah, of course.
Not the Salesforce other Salesforce org. It is the same org, but I have an external object.
Yeah, of course, if you have an external object, okay, that also you can connect. So definitely when you go for the connection, okay, you need some kind of additional details for security purpose, okay. So whenever I go over here, let's say connect to data, add connection. So whenever you're going for external, again I'm showing you the Salesforce, but like going back to your question, whenever you want to connect to external object as well, there could be some additional security questions, or information which needs to be put forward to. Okay, so basically like through Salesforce there's a security key which if you want to connect to other Salesforce org, but yeah, when you want to connect to the same one through an external object, you need to provide some kind of security key and all, which needs to be provided, okay, to any external system, or even if it's in the same Salesforce org, even if there is some external object related to anything, okay, you just need to connect to that. So once those information are being passed on, and it will be reflected over here. So currently this is an external Salesforce org where I'm connected to, but yeah, to the same Salesforce org, if there's an external object, I can connect to that as well. So if you provide the requisite information, if it get connected, it will be displayed over here. But yeah, to answer your question, it is definitely possible for sure. Okay, so once this is done, this is where it is done. And as I was sharing, like again, information you can put, but let's say there are some manual information. So whenever we'll be walking through the session, so I will be displaying you through mainly CSV file, just to understand the basic concepts are clear to you all. So if you go to this analytics studio, okay, if you go to this create button, fine, you can see this data set, okay. If you click over here, so basically you can bring in through any kind of thing. So if there's a CSV file which I'm having, okay, if there's an Excel sheet through which I want to pull in data, I can go for this, okay. If I want to create any Salesforce instance, then of course I can come from here as well. External data, I think you were talking about that as well. External data, if there's an external data which is present within Salesforce, that can also be done, okay. You can go for this option as well, fine. So there are different ways you can do that, okay. Here also through that you can create the data set and you can do that. So there was this external thing which I wanted to say you, like directly from Salesforce object, okay. And you can also load from CSV file or some external data sources, including other Salesforce org. And we can, as one was saying, you can, if there's an external object which is present in that particular Salesforce org itself, you can connect to that as well, okay. So there are different ways to connect. So let us go forward. So see, basically in Tableau CRM, so somebody I think from here is working for 1.5 months. I think he must be very much aware of this. So these are the 5 main components which we have. We have the app, we have the dashboard, lens, data flow, and stories. Okay. So if I just show you over here, so basically, in this particular, when you go to the studio, so in this all items, you will see over here, it's reflected everywhere. Fine. Templates is some of is an addition. Okay. I mean, it came very recently. So basically it has started within this release itself, this templates part. So basically there's some, what to say, there's a whole dashboard structure which Einstein itself provides to you, okay. uh, if there's a different sales requirement, service requirement, this is something, the whole template is given by you from Einstein only. This is a new addition, but mainly we have these 5 things, okay. So we have the app. So basically app, I will again walk you through the PPT, but since I've opened this, I will just give a very brief part. So it's more like a folder which we have, okay. So in my private app, I will be having some dashboard, stories, lenses, okay. And then if I, there's a something called shared app, different types of folders you can maintain, okay. Now private app is your personal app. I mean, nobody else will be able to view it. Okay, only it will be viewed by you. Other than that, you can create any other app and you can share it as well with anybody. Fine. So in the sales app, there will be many dashboard lenses which will be stored. It's more like a folder, nothing much over here. Okay. You have this dashboard which I was talking about, like, it's a visual display. So like if I open just one of the things, which I'll be walking you through that at a later stage. So it kind of in the dashboard, it gives you a visual display of everything. Okay. So like, let's say if I open this Salesforce Analytics home, so what are the different kind of charts, different kind of metrics, different kind of information, everything is provided over here. So this is more of a visual representation dashboard. Okay, it's mentioned everywhere in the PPT. I will be walking through that. So as I was talking about the stories, basically, like the Einstein predict itself, like what are the stuffs which like, I have uploaded one CSV called where we had one of the components called CLV. So how can I maximize that? Like that is something. So this whole thing, okay, I haven't done anything. This whole thing is predicted by Einstein. So it is related to CSV file. Okay, but yeah, just to give an overview, like on which component this depends. So these were some of the variables which was there in CSV. Fine. So when it is highest and when it is lowest. Okay, and CLV by division, like what are the factors, I mean, on which division it's depends, where it is low, where the type is customer. Okay, where it's hot. Okay. Then when type is consulting, what happens, how it could have performed better, which I was walking through in the PPT as well. Okay. So when industry is retail, how it could have done better. So all these insights, I mean, as I was talking about, it kind of walks through the historical analysis, and then it gives you the result where it kind of does worse. And also this whole thing, okay, is being done by Einstein prediction. Fine. Which we have as
Mhm.
stories over here. So this is the one. And lenses is more like, so basically whenever we do some transformation in the data flows. So as you must be knowing about the reports, so whatever reports we have, we kind of get it as a data set. So reports is more of compared to data set over here. So whatever transformation you have, so these things, we have this data sets over here. Okay, if you want to view let's say the division and all. Okay, and if you want to view the sum of amount, so once or sum of account ID, for this case it's CSV one, so we have the CLV over here. So all those things you can view. Okay. You can group by let's say if you want to group by ownership or industry. Okay. Depending upon what are the information which is there on that particular data flow, which you kind of had put it into data
Uh,
sets. Okay. So yeah.
Avinash, I have one small question. Can we add
Sure,
this?
sure, go ahead.
Can we add this Tableau reports or
Mhm.
dashboards to the home screen? Generally, we can add reports or a dashboard to the home, right? So can we do the same thing with the Tableau
Mhm.
reports also?
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, of course, of course. Yeah, yeah, of course. Like when you go to that home screen, okay, basically you need to go for this edit page. Fine. So over here we have this something called as edit page. Okay. I will be anyhow showing you this in one of the sessions. So basically, like from here only, you will be able to show. So we have something called as Tableau CRM dashboard, as you can see over here, right? So if I pull it in over here, okay, yeah, as you can see. So once I pull in over here I will be able to view it. So like depending like which dashboard you want to see. So currently it's Sales Analytics home, which I showed you. So if you want to view, you can do it on the home page. So this is the way. And once I click on save, you will be able to view it on the Salesforce homepage. I mean, that's the question you asked us, right? Asked me,
yes,
right?
yes, sir. Yes, yes, perfect.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
yeah. So that can be done. So once you go to the edit page, you will be able to view that. So some further informations are needed, okay, which I'll be walking through in the session as well. Yeah. So getting back, yeah, this is the data set, as I was saying. So all the combination of this data set is something which you view on the dashboard. Okay, so dashboard is nothing but the whole bunch of data set, and of course some additional widgets are also there which can be taken into consideration. Fine. Now lenses is nothing but let's say like suppose I have lenses is mostly used by the testing team. Like whenever one works in the Salesforce Tableau CRM, usually if there's a testing team who have tested something, let's say I've tested this. Fine. And if I want to save this, basically I can save it as a lens. So like this is nothing but the data sets only which are being grouped by different things. Okay, and it is being saved as a lens for some future purposes. So it's just for future reference which is needed. It's mostly used by testing team who are there working in Salesforce WCRM. Okay, mostly it's useful for them. And of course, if there's specific things which you want to keep in track for future reference, you can definitely go for these lenses. It's the saved exploration of the data sets, nothing much. Fine. So these are the main 5 components which we have, okay, over here. And let us just go forward. Yeah, data flow, one thing I missed which was not over the data flow. So data flow is something you'll be able to see in the data manager. So once you go to this data flow, so as I was talking about the transformation, right? So definitely you will be able to view everything on the dashboard, but there's some transformation which is being done by this Salesforce Tableau. So that part you can do in the data flow. So we can just pull in anything, fine, and we can just do the transformation. This is an empty one. Let us open anything. Yeah, so there are different kind of nodes which are there, okay. I will be walking through all you will be joining this course, but yeah, like giving you a brief walk through this whole nodes which you see over here. It's the transformation which is happening, okay. So this is the data set, okay, like this is the SFDC digest. So basically, if I'm getting some opportunity, so extract opportunity means I have the source object opportunity. So if I show you the connect, so this is my local. In local, I have this opportunity, right? As you can see, I'm pulling in all the objects over here. So one of the objects is opportunity. So that opportunity I have taken as SFDC digest, okay. SFDC digest is something which we use when we are pulling from the local Salesforce up, okay. From there, I'm getting all the fields. So there are different fields in the object. Whatever the fields I need, I'm getting in over here. And I can mention some filter conditions, like let's say last activity date I want for the past 2 years, or for the past 3 years, or last modified date I want for the past 3 years, okay. And is closed, let's say I want for true, okay. So depending upon the condition, you can just mention over here in the data flow itself, okay. And going further, like we have some compute expression node, okay, like what are the transformation which needs to be done, okay. Case when, this is something we will be walking through. This is something you will be using a lot, case when, fine. This is a powerful compute expression tool, which is used all the time, okay. Then we have something like flattened node, okay. Flattened node, like it's basically, if there's a hierarchy which is there for parent and for the self, that for that reason we use this flattened node, okay. Sorry, this is a filter flatten, I'm talking about this one, flatten node, fine. This is the flatten node which we have, okay. So there's a hierarchy which is there in Salesforce, let's say, and you want to view the parent ID, its ID. So those kind of things can be done by flatten. Filter is like filtering. So if there's a particular filtering which you want to do, we can go for this, or you can just go for simple expression, something like equal to, that can also be done, okay. So this is one of the things which is used over here, filter node. You have compute relative, it's more like a compute expression. It's just that in compute expression you can do calculation for a particular row, okay. You might not be able to understand currently, but like there's a particular row which is there. If you want to do calculation for that we use compute. But if there's a particular whole column for which you want to do calculation, then we can go for this compute. For example, if I just give you one short example, maybe just to ensure things are clear to you. So let's say, basically it's a very simple, okay. This is just to make you understand. So basically, let's say I have given a row, okay, 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9, fine. I'm able to do only for this row, fine. But there could be scenarios, let's say I want to do for some other particular rows, for, let's say, what I mean to say is, for all these particular columns and rows which are there, for all these cells, I want to do the calculation, I want to display the result over here. So I want to add all these things and I want to display the result over here, okay. For that we usually go for the compute relative node, okay. So compute expression is more like it does calculation on one particular row, but if you want to do the overall calculation for other columns and rows combined, then you go for the compute relative. So compute relative and compute expression are same. The only difference is the ones which I showed you, okay. That's why we have this sort direction, we have this order by for which particular row you want to partition it by, okay. So but the calculation after that is simple, like just the compute expression, okay. We go for this offset function because, as I've shown you, when it's for a particular row, you don't want to know the next previous. But when you are working for this whole particular rows and columns, then you need to know, like, for which one, for the current one or for the first column row you want to perform the calculation, or for the previous one, okay. So that's why we have this offset function and all. So basically it's more like compute expression, okay, with the difference mentioned. And we have this augment node. So if there are, let's say, two CSV file, and I want to pull in some records depending upon their ID, some common ID. So whatever common fields we have, we map it on the left key and right key, and then we pull in all the further fields which are required. Okay, we go for this augment node and all. Again, this is just a brief description which I'm giving you. We will be walking through much in details. Okay, and currently don't get complex by this whole structure. This whole structure might be looking complex and all, but once you come into there, you have to work much more complex structure in the data flows. But it's not that tough actually, trust me. It's just that if you understand the nodes thoroughly, like this HMart which we have, HMart is like whatever existing data set we have, if we want to pull in that, we can go for this HMart. Okay, so through HMart, like whatever existing data set type we want to pull that, we go for this HMart part. So all these things, different nodes are there. If you clearly understand each of its functionality, okay, after that, like no matter how much complex the data flow could be, you can easily analyze that. And if you want to develop something, you can easily do that as well. It's just that you need to understand this whole thing. So even when I also, like came first to this Einstein analytics, things used to become very complex, of course, all this. But yeah, through experience, it became relatively easier. I just focused on the basic concepts, what each did and all, and after that, more or less, it never became too difficult to understand this whole structure. Okay, so this is the transformation tool which we have. So data flow is something which has been existing for a long time, okay, in the transformation part. But like recently we also go for the recipes. So recipes nothing but it's just what to say, there's not much of a difference in data flow and recipe, to be honest enough. But it's just that it gives you, what to say, a better view. So just like in Salesforce we have the Salesforce Lightning, isn't it? And we have something called a Salesforce Classic. So if you see Salesforce, of course there are few functionality which is they are present in Salesforce Classic, which is not there in Lightning, and vice versa. But mainly, if you see, the difference lies in the UI experience, right? So in Salesforce, when you go to Classic, it's like it gives you an older version kind of information, whatever is there. Like when you switch to Lightning, you get a better view, a better picture. Okay, you love that Lightning part. At least me personally, definitely love this low Lightning part. So more or less, is gives you a visual, better visual display, you can say. So that's the thing. Other than that, there's nothing much. Whatever transformation we can do on the recipe, that whole thing can be done on the data flow as well, but it gives you a better, what to say, enhanced view. Okay, and for which things might become easier. But yeah, going forward, definitely there's a lot of work around which will be done in that recipe. So recipe is definitely the future going forward. But yeah, we will be learning both the things in the transformation. Okay, data flow and recipes. So let us go forward. Yeah, as I was telling you, it was basically a folder. That's what is mentioned over here. Okay, nothing much. Dashboard, like whatever charts, tables. I mean, let me just give you a small example. Let me just quickly show you the dashboard part. So in this all items, like when you go for this create, if you click on this dashboard, now let me just create a very blank dashboard. Okay, so you have all these different widgets over here. Let's say I want to put in some chart. Okay, and if you go on to this chart, as I said earlier, like dashboard is nothing but it will be a collection of all the data sets. Okay, that's it. So suppose if I want to go for, let's say, yeah, let's say opportunities only. Okay, and in the opportunities, like what exactly I want to group. So basically, let's say I want to check the uh, yeah, let's say billing country, account dot billing country. Okay, and I want to check let's say stage. Okay, so this is the one I want to see, the billing country and stage. Okay, then you can go for further filters, like let's say the amount should be something like in this range. There are different kind of filters. If you want to go, you can do that as well. Okay, so let me, if I say, let's say done. Okay, so here I will be able to view that chart. Okay, then there's something called table. Okay, so if you want to view as a table format. Okay, so let's say the same thing, opportunity. If I want to just view it as a table format, if I click on done. Okay, the same thing only. I mean, here you have the bar chart, and we can go for different kind of chart as well. So this is currently showing you the bar chart. Okay, if you want to go for the column chart, okay, then there's a lot. If you want to go, so every chart has different specific, I mean, like as you can see, if I click on timeline, this is not displaying. So there's a specific workaround. Like for timeline, you need the X and Y axis. Okay, so so depending upon what exactly needs to be viewed, we can go for this particular charts over here. Okay, So there's a lot. We have pyramid. Okay, so pyramid also we need two axes. Fine. Stack chart. Okay, timeline chart. Whenever we are pulling some date fields, okay, at that particular time, like it's mentioned over here, dates and time. So different kind of what to say things are there. Okay, we go for the gauge. This is mainly used for the stage one. Let's say an particular account has a particular stage. We can go for this, which shows in which exact situation stage it is in. Okay, so different kind of charts are there. So that's one of the thing you can do. Then if you just want to view it as table, you can do that. Okay, we can go for filters if you want to apply some different filters. Once you of course, if the thing is that whatever filters we provide over here, if you want to reflect on this chart, okay, whatever condition we mention over here, based on that it will be reflecting over here. So suppose if I mention the filters like some stage equal to closed one, let's say. So whatever information I'll be getting over here, based on that closed one I'll be getting it. You need to do faceting and all. So once we click over here, so once you click over here, there's a different faceting option which are available. Okay, this faceting, as if you read the text also, it facet this queries based on selection. So whatever selection I make over here, based on that, if something needs to be done over here, we go for this faceting. So different kinds of stuffs are there. We will be walking through in details, but yeah, just wanted to give you an overview. We have this toggle button. Okay, if I just show you one example. So yeah, as you can see, these are the toggles. Okay, suppose if I click on preview, I want to view the opportunity view, I am able to view. If I want to go for account view, I am able to view all the different kind of accounts over here. So if I click on opportunity, I will be able to view opportunity. Okay, so this is what toggle mostly does and all. Okay, so different kind of functionality are there in this dashboard. We will be walking through in details. A powerful tool if you want to go for text. So in that example, I mean, there's a text if you see over here. Okay, my name is added. Okay, so we can go for different kind of stuffs. Fine. So in dashboard, a lot of things can be viewed depending upon what the higher management wants to exactly view and all. Okay, so that's about dashboard. So then we have this lens. Okay, it's, I mean, as I already told you, what is that lens is nothing but a data set, and there's a specific future reference. You want to store the data set for future reference. Okay, then you go for this lens. It's a visualization of data in a data set, as I just shown you. Okay, the data flow, as I walked you, there are different transformation nodes. It's a huge thing. Okay, now it will take a lot of time to explain that data flow. As you have seen, there's a lot of nodes over there. Okay, so we'll be walking through, we'll try to understand, and there's a lot to learn in this data flow. Stories, of course, this is the future. Okay, once you do all the transformation, once you view everything on the dashboard, and if you want to generate some kind of, if you want the Einstein analytics to do that prediction itself. Okay, so definitely this has a lot of scope in the future. Okay, for like, this is one of the powerful AI and BI tool for this is only, it's not the stories part. Okay, so like talking about the future. Okay, the future of this Tableau CRM, I mean, why you want to learn what exactly is the future. Okay, so basically Tableau continues to be further integrated with Salesforce and Einstein. Okay, like there's a separate thing called this Tableau, and there's a lot of features which always is getting integrated over here. Fine, and it continues to invest heavily on the development of Einstein and discovery. As I told, that discovery part, okay, that story is the model which you'll be building. All those things is a very powerful thing which currently Einstein is providing, and definitely it has a lot of scope in the future. That's why people are heavily relying upon this tool. So this is one of the, what to say, I mean, anyhow, when will we have the session, you will be able to create this free Tableau CRM. Okay, so yeah, more or less this is all about from my end. Okay, we will have the Q&A session. So just to give an overview, I just wanted to like explain what all is there. There's a lot to kind of learn. Okay, there's different kind of dashboard which you can be like, one of the dashboard is over here. So suppose, if I click on preview, let's say I'm clicking on this amount by opportunity. If I click over here, you see all this kind of things are changing. If I'm clicking over here, you see, of course, depending upon data, sometimes you won't get result. So when I'm clicking something over here, other datas are changing, or reflecting the changes. So this is all happening because of faceting. This is the gauge chart which we have. Okay, which is reflecting what are like this helps you to kind of view where, in which exact situation you are in. Okay, um, so yeah, different kind of stuffs are there. This is one of the dashboard which is being built. As you can see, these are all changing depending upon the selection which I'm doing over here. Fine, all these things, of course faceting is there. Then there's something called as advanced dashboard, where we learn uh, a lot about this broadcasting and faceting, and how to kind of do the selection binding. So there's a something called as binding as well. So suppose currently this can be done because suppose there are two different data sets or two same data sets, we can easily do the faceting. But when there are two different data sets, we usually go for the binding part, which needs to be done. Fine. So like over here also, like when I'm selecting the type, it's being showed over here, industry is being showed in this manner. Fine. There's a lot to learn in this advanced dashboard. So like if I give you the curriculum as well, so this is how it goes. Basic terms, I mean, definitely in our session I have mostly walked through it, it won't be that much. Okay, I also shared you that app. So then the access and security which we are having, the data layer. So basically when we talk about the Salesforce Tableau CRM, there are two kind of things. One is the data layer, okay, and one is the designer layer. So whenever we say data layer, we talk about the transformation tool, the data flows and recipe. So this is the data layer. So whatever background work is done, this is where it is done. Fine. Then there's something called design layer. Design layer is morely like the dashboard one. So in the dashboard, what are the changes you can do? So already we are bringing the data set over here. Already the transformation is done in the back end. Now it's in the front end, the design layer. What exactly needs to be done? How exactly you want to build this dashboard, and how you want to help the user to view the data and all. That's the designer layer. Okay. So that will be walking through the designer layer, the data layer. This will take definitely a lot of time to go through the data flows. Okay. Recipes won't take that much of time, but yeah, data flows through each node, what it does and all. Once that is clear, recipes more like same only, just that some extra nodes are there which I'll be just walking through. Okay, then the design layer, what are the data sets, lens and explanation, the dashboard. Okay, and then in design layer we have the advanced dashboard. As I was telling you, if there are two different data sets, how that bindings can be done so that it kind of facets and all. Okay, then of course the discovery and prediction, as I was showing you about the prediction, how it exactly kind of happens and all. And this is a very small topic about how that can be set up on mobile. Nothing much is there. So yeah, this will be the overall session. I mean, if you join this course, you'll be walking through this all. Okay, I gave you a brief demo about what exactly are there. Just give you an what to say, a bird view analysis of whatever is available in this Salesforce Tableau CRM. Okay. So yeah, this was all about this short demo. I just wanted to give you all a walkthrough about this whole Salesforce Tableau CRM and a brief overview. So any question till now in this very short session about this Salesforce Tableau CRM? Anything you want to ask specifically about this and related to its course? Go ahead.
So the if you join the class, will it include the AI also, total AI, or will it be a part of AI?
I mean, when you say AI, basically, it's all about related to this one only, right? Discovery and prediction. So yeah,
Oh,
it
okay,
will be
okay. So
including
when
this.
you say
I will be
prediction,
walking
when
through
you
step
say,
by step. Mhm.
is it okay? When you say prediction, so do we require ML also, minimal ML knowledge, or else will it be covered in the same classes?
I will
Machine
be walking through.
learning.
So see, when you will be coming over here, no, you don't need any kind of prerequisite knowledge. Okay, when you will be joining this course, I will be assuming that you don't know anything. I will be walking you through step by step. So see, currently I think one of the person already worked in Salesforce Tableau CRM, isn't it, for 1.5 months, who is over here. Okay, but still I gave you a walkthrough of exactly what whole all this thing is all about. Okay, so when you will be joining this course, just to ensure just to ensure everybody's aligned on the same page, I will be assuming that nobody knows anything. So that's how this
Mhm.
course is designed. So from the very beginning, of course, the person who are a bit experienced, maybe 1 to 1.5 months, for them the initial what to say session could be boring, because I think one of the person who's worked in for 1.5 months, it could have been a little bit boring for them, because he might be knowing a lot of things. But yeah, that's how it will be structured, keeping into consideration that you all are joining this course for the first time and you don't have a complete idea about this at all. So that's how I will be walking through the session.
Okay.
So you don't need
The
knowledge of
reason.
anything.
Okay, all right. The reason that I asked this question is because I'm mainly looking to learn artificial intelligence. So when you say Tableau
Acha.
CRM, so will that be considered, or if I join the class, and will it be part of an artificial intelligence totally, or will it be like partial artificial intelligence when it if I'm
See,
not getting it
artificial
correct?
intelligence is a very huge concept. I mean, okay, it's a very huge concept. Like, if you see this Tableau, like this is just a part, right? Salesforce Tableau CRM. So the thing is that
Okay.
Salesforce Tableau CRM is a part. Okay, so Salesforce, if you see the Salesforce, there's a lot of things in Salesforce, right? So like this is Salesforce, isn't it? In Salesforce you have a lot of things to learn. So let's say in Salesforce you have workflow rules. Okay, let me go to an object manager. I think one of the person is there in Salesforce only, he will be able to read it. So in Salesforce you have a lot to learn. Okay, what are
I have a
validation rules?
Salesforce knowledge. I have 9
Oh,
years
that's fine. That's fine. So
Salesforce.
what I mean to say is
So
basically in Salesforce, there's a lot to learn, isn't it? But Salesforce Tableau CRM is just a part of Salesforce. So when you say artificial intelligence, it's a very broad picture, isn't it?
all right,
So
all
there
right.
could be a lot to learn. This is just a part of it, you can say, to answer your
I
question.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
you
Got it.
got it. Yeah, just like Salesforce Tableau CRM is a part of Salesforce. Okay, but in Salesforce, there's a lot to learn. So similarly, if you compare it with artificial intelligence, like discovery is part of that, just a small part of that, you can say.
Okay. So will it has again the chatbot is different one, right? So will it be a different part?
Yeah, 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 of course.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, anybody else?
Avinash, can we export this dashboard to community also? Is it possible? Community users like your experts.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, if there's any dashboard which you want to export to community cloud, you are saying, right? In Salesforce community cloud, right?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, of course,
Uh,
that can be done.
And one more thing, I was
I
seeing a difference in data flow and recipes. Like data flow is only possible left hand, but when it comes to the recipe, we can do all joins. So that
Mhm.
we can make it as a difference.
That is one of the difference which you rightly mentioned. Also, uh, there's another part as well to this. So basically, in the recipe, there's something called as aggregate. So this is something which is not possible to do in the data flow. So basically, let's say you want to group by. So as I've shown in the data set, you can group by, right? So suppose you want to view the count of rows and you are grouping by account. So that is something also which you can do mostly in recipes. In data flow, it becomes a little bit complex to do it. So the aggregate function is also something which is there in recipe. And of course, additionally, which you rightly mentioned, the joins. Yes, the whenever we go for the augment node, so join is similar to the augment node which we have in data flows. So there we can only do the left one, but yeah, here we can go for many of the part. So there's a bit of additional functionalities which are there in recipes, and again in data flow also we have that. So yeah, but more or less the transformation tools, mostly everything can be done on the data flow. But yeah, some additional features are there which you just mentioned. I hope you got you got your answer.
Yes, yes, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, anything else? I think a few other person also joined at a later stage. In case you missed anything or if you want to ask anything, then ask.
So, what was the duration of the course? Can I, duration
I
and
think
timing?
all the information have been shared with you, I guess. About the timing parts, mostly it will be shared, but it will be around this time only. Okay. Mostly on weekends, if I take the session, it will be around 8 p.m. to 8:30. Further information will be given to you. Okay. So I think you must have got about the duration and course everything, right? Or you didn't?
The message I got. I need to check.
Yeah, like basically approximately it will be like 30 days duration for sure. It will be like 1.5 hours per day. This is just what to say. See again, the duration depends upon how much you're understanding and all, because the main purpose is whatever concepts I teach you, the main thing is that you have to kind of understand everything. Okay, like whatever class we are having, ensure that in each class you understand whatever concepts I'm teaching you. Like as I told you, I will be starting right from the scratch. Okay, you don't need to learn any prerequisite. Now since you are not doing that, you have to ensure whatever I teach, everything is clear to you. Let's say there is something which is going on top of your head. If there is something which you're not able to understand, okay, we will ensure that in the next class you kind of get it. So approximately you can say it's like 30 days if it's taken 1.5 hours per day. But again, it all depends. Like, there could be some session where you are not able to understand, you're having difficulty to grasp the concepts, and you are having further questions on that. So maybe to explain that, it might take time. So suppose it's 1.5, but it might extend to 2 or 3 hours depending upon the magnitude of that concept which is there. So that's the thing. Exact time frame may not be given, but yeah, approximately it will be like 30 days for 1.5 hours per day. Okay. But the whole purpose is you need to understand whatever is there. So basically, uh, we are focusing much on the quality part, to be honest. Whatever we are teaching is, you need to ensure that everything you get it from your end.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else have any kind of question?
Do we get
Please feel free
the
to ask any question.
do we get the Salesforce instance with the Tableau, or else it can be enabled in any dev instances?
No. For Salesforce Tableau, when you will be working for any organization, it's a different license. You need to purchase that. Okay. But for the demo, I mean, for this session, you don't need to do, because Salesforce already provides a free Tableau CRM. I mean, this is the org. Okay. So like whatever I'm showing, this is free only. So this is actually free free one. I mean, this is my personal org. This is a free org actually. So
Okay.
you don't need to do anything. But of course, in a free org you won't get, or what to say, all the functionalities may not be given. Okay, there could be some
Yeah.
limitation. I mean, you already know, when you go for free Salesforce, there's a
Yeah.
limitation on the license, right? You can't create
Yeah.
many users, isn't it, in Salesforce free
Yeah.
org? When you go for the purchase, that limitation, so those kind of limitation will be there. But yeah, from learning perspective, then won't be any hindrance. I mean, we will have the free Salesforce org. You just need to, just like you have the free Salesforce instance to learn Salesforce, you just need to connect over there, and we'll be walking through all the concepts. That's not an issue.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, when you go working for an organization, you need to purchase that Salesforce Tableau CRM because of enhanced functionality which it provides.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody else? Okay, so that's it from my end. I think we have already extended the session. It had to be a short one, but yeah, anyways, not an issue. I had a great time with you all, and I hope you kind of enjoyed the session. So if there's no further question to ask, I think we are good to close. So Kishore, if you are there, I think we can close the session. Everything is done from my end. Kishore, are you there?
Honest, no.
Huh.
Kishore is not
Okay,
there.
okay, yeah, sure.
He's
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are good to close the session then.
Thanks, Avinash. Yeah. Bye bye.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Avinash. Bye.